Picture this. You're standing at the checkout counter, holding an expensive video game console, or maybe a pricey accessory you need to return, and you feel that sudden sinking feeling in your stomach. You've completely lost your proof of purchase. It is incredibly stressful, right? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are going to completely demystify how to navigate one of the absolute strictest retail return systems out there, GameStop.
Look, if you're in this exact situation right now, take a deep breath, because you are definitely not alone. Get this, according to the National Retail Federation, nearly 70% of consumers return holiday gifts at least some of the time. Returns are a massive everyday part of the retail world, but somehow losing that one tiny little slip of paper can suddenly make you feel like you are totally out of luck.
And honestly, when it comes to GameStop, the official policy paints a pretty bleak picture. CBS News recently evaluated major store return policies, and they placed GameStop firmly in their worst category. They literally noted that the store makes absolutely no returns without a receipt. It sounds like an impenetrable fortress, doesn't it? Well, that's just the official corporate line. The reality on the ground is actually a whole lot more nuanced. There are some legitimate insider workarounds to bypass this fortress, as long as you know exactly how the system works.
So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover 1. GameStop's strict return policy. 2. Preparation and alternate proofs. 3. Leveraging digital rewards accounts. 4. Effective store communication. And finally, 5. Alternative solutions and fallbacks. Let's dive right into Section 1, GameStop's strict return policy.
To beat this system, you first have to understand the exact corporate obstacles we're trying to navigate. So, how much time do you actually have? If you bought new software or hardware and it is completely unopened, a standard customer has 15 days to bring it back. If you're a Pro member, you get an extended 30-day window. But listen up, because for pre-owned products, that window tightens drastically to just 7 days across the board, no matter what your membership tier is. Knowing these timeframes is absolutely crucial, because if you're outside these windows, a standard cash refund is already off the table.
And here's the real kicker regarding the condition of your items. Let's say you buy a brand new game, take it home, and just take that clear plastic wrap off. You cannot return it for a refund. Period. It's wild, but once that factory seal is broken, your new item is instantly classified by GameStop as a pre-owned item. At that point, a standard refund is totally disqualified, and you're left with just one option: trading it in for a fraction of the original cost.
Now, if an employee denies an unreceipted return, you got to remember, they aren't just being difficult. They are physically bound by a system called the Retail Equation, or TRE for short. Think of TRE as a giant digital bouncer. It's a third-party risk analysis algorithm that requires your government-issued ID for any exceptions, and it tracks return frequencies across the whole retail industry to stop fraud. If your return behavior triggers a warning flag in the TRE system, the store staff literally cannot override it to give you a refund.
All right, moving on to Section 2, Preparation and Alternate Proofs.
Let's talk about how to armor up at home before you even set foot inside the store. This brings us to a super common question, and really the biggest misconception frustrated shoppers have. Is a bank statement a receipt?
Well, yes and no. By corporate policy, a bank statement is not an official receipt for a standard refund. You can't just waive a pending charge on your smartphone at the cashier and demand cash back, simply because it doesn't prove exactly what item you bought. However, your bank statement is the golden key needed to search their internal databases. It holds the exact metadata an employee needs to actually help you out.
Because of that, you need to be prepared. Here are the exact 3 things you must physically bring to the store to have any shot at a successful receiptless return. First, dig into your bank app and find the exact date and the exact time your transaction was processed. Second, grab the physical debit or credit card you used to make that purchase. And third, bring a valid government-issued photo ID, like your driver's license. Remember, any exception they make is going to require that ID to clear that TRE fraud system we just talked about.
Let's jump into Section 3, Leveraging Digital Rewards Accounts.
This right here is the absolute best case scenario, using GameStop's own digital tracking to bypass their strict receipt policy. Take note of the term Hyrule Hub. This is the insider name for GameStop's store-level customer management application. If you gave them a phone number or email address when you checked out, your purchase lives in here. Knowing this term totally empowers you. Instead of walking up and saying, "Hey, I lost my receipt," you can politely ask, "Hey there, could you check the Hyrule Hub for my purchase history?" If your transaction is in this system, the physical receipt is basically obsolete anyway. The perks are amazing. The system tracks your purchases for up to 2 full years. It automatically links your product replacement plans directly to the serial number of your console or hardware. And best of all, once an associate finds your transaction in the hub, they can literally just press Control-P on their register keyboard and print you a duplicate receipt right there on the spot. Problem entirely solved.
Next up, Section 4, Effective Store Communication.
Okay, so what if you don't have a rewards account? Don't panic. There is another internal database called the electronic journal tape. It basically archives every single transaction completed at that specific retail location over a 90-day window. If you're not in the Hyrule Hub, this specific database is your only hope. But you absolutely must know how to ask an employee to search it, because frankly, it is a really tedious process for them.
Just listen to what one GameStop employee shared on a public forum. They said, if you know the exact date, the exact time, and the exact register, we can look up the receipt details. Notice the theme there? Employees absolutely can and often will bend the rules for you, but you have to make their job easy. They cannot and will not scroll through hundreds of transactions for a whole day just hoping to spot yours. You have to give them precise parameters.
So your conversational flow at the register needs to look exactly like this. Be polite, not demanding. Trust me, a little empathy for retail workers goes a very long way. Use their insider phrasing by asking if they can check the journal tape for your purchase. Immediately offer your exact bank statement timestamp and the last 4 digits of the physical card you are holding in your hand. And finally, keep your ID out and ready on the counter. Doing this shows you respect their process, and it makes them way more likely to want to help you.
Finally, let's cover Section 5, Alternative Solutions and Fallbacks.
Look, sometimes a full cash or card refund is just simply impossible due to those corporate system lockouts. But if a refund is denied, you still have some victories available. First, be totally prepared to accept store credit loaded onto a gift card. Many store managers will authorize this as a goodwill exception. If you have a broken controller or a scratched game disc and you're within the return window, ask for an identical item exchange. They are way more lenient with swaps than they are with handing out cash. If the item is open and totally ineligible, you can always fall back on its trade-in value. And hey, if the store-level staff truly can't help, stepping outside and politely calling the 1-800 customer service hotline can sometimes yield an emailed receipt right to your inbox.
I do have to give it to you straight though, there is one harsh reality we need to address. Digital currency codes, like Xbox or PlayStation gift card codes that print out on your receipt, cannot be recovered, viewed, or refunded by store employees once they are printed. If you lose that receipt, the store cannot reprint the active code for you. It's gone. That being said, polite and persistent calls to the corporate customer service helpline have sometimes yielded one-time replacement exceptions, but only if you can actually prove the original purchase through your account history.
And all of this builds to a really important reality check. Retail policies, return windows, and restocking fees change all the time. For instance, GameStop recently reduced their non-pro return window from 30 days down to just 15 days. Plus, they occasionally offer extended holiday return windows. The golden rule here is to always check their official website for the latest updates and verify the rules directly with a local representative before you make any assumptions.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought to consider. The absolute easiest way to bypass all of this receipt stress is simply giving the cashier your phone number at checkout. But in an era where we constantly have to guard our digital privacy, there is a very real trade-off happening between keeping your personal data secure and ensuring your own retail convenience. So I have to ask you, next time you shop, will you surrender your data to a free rewards account just to save your receipts in the cloud? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and seriously, good luck out there at the checkout counter.